77 WABC invites you to a family fun day and softball showdown on July 20th with net proceeds benefiting Shriners Children's. John Sterling will call the game as the FDNY takes on the NYPD with special guests Dwight Gooden, Art Shamsky, 77 WABC hosts, including Sid Rosenberg, Anthony Cumia, Lionel, Dominic Carter, and many more. For more info and to buy tickets, go to ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org. That's ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
Hello there, everybody. Good morning, family. Let us pray. It is 2:07 a.m. here on 77 WABC. I'm TJ McCormack. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-WABC. That's the number. And you can find me over on Twitter. At TJ McCormack. At TJ McCormack on Twitter. X. And you can grab us on the 77 WABC app. Go to any app store, your iPhone, your Apple store, your Android Play, whatever. Go there, get the app, and anywhere you are on the whole wide world, as Mayor Adams says, the planet, anywhere on the planet, ABC Radio, WABCRadio.com, WABCRadio.com, WABCRadio.com. So on this Saturday morning, we got a really good show, as always, and thank you again for all the support. We just keep, moving onwards and upwards every single, weekend here on Another Side of Midnight. Things just keep getting better and better. Our listeners, our followers, everybody over there, Truth Social, including the President of the United States who knows my name. Say my name, say my name. Thank you, Donald J. Yeah, it was cool. I don't know if you caught that. I mentioned it last week very briefly when the President called out some of my commentary, said it was that I know my stuff, said my name. Yeah. Anyway, so really, thank you so much, family. You've just been phenomenal. And to all the new folks, stop right where you are and hang for a while. It's going to be an interesting first, second, and third hour. That means the whole damn show's going to be good. In the first hour, coming up very shortly, we're going to be speaking with Lisa Durden. Lisa Durden is her name. She is a very outspoken political commentator. She's a filmmaker. She's a multimedia creator, artist. I would say she's an activist. She's very, very, very opinionated and smart and knows her stuff. And this comes after like a few weeks of asking friends and publicist people and guest bookers and all these people to please find me someone awake right now, but also find me, please, a commentator, a politico, somebody who supports Mamdani that'll come on the show and articulate why. And it really, I mean, again, it's threading a needle getting a live guest for the show. Cause I really want to be able to offer them to you. And so Lisa Durden is her name. She's coming up in just a few minutes here in this first part of the show. And we're going to talk about Mamdani. Second hour, 3 a.m., we're going to be talking to another filmmaker, interestingly. This guy has a very unique background. Barry Cooper is an American drug reform activist. He's a drug reform activist. In other words, he's a critic of the war on drugs. He's a former narcotics officer, this guy. And he's got a 5-part documentary series called Never Get Busted. And it just premiered at the Sundance Festival in this 2025 version of the Sundance Festival. And the series goes into Cooper's life from his days as a cop to his defection from law enforcement and efforts to free wrongfully convicted people, wrongfully convicted, I guess he calls them victims of the system. And it explores government retaliation that he faced, leading to his self-imposed exile with his family from all of this that we have, this war on drugs. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be Barry Cooper. And then in the third hour, as we do every Saturday morning, we're going to do our recovery hour. So we're going to talk about booze, drugs, sex, shopping. If your life is unmanageable, or if the life of a loved one is unmanageable, 1-800-848-9222, hour 3 at 4 a.m. We're going to be once again talking a little bit of experience, strength, and hope. I'll tell you a little bit about what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. I just had a very blessed anniversary this past Thursday, the 10th. In the parlance of 12-stepping, I turned 20. 20 years, no booze, 20 years, no nothing, 20 years. Good Lord. But I'm alive. And, I got a lot of, look where I am 20 years after. 20 years ago, I was fat and disgusting and bloated and drunk and driving drunk and breaking the law and yuck. And being mean to my wife and yuck and denying all of it, Look her right in the eye and say, what are you talking about? I might have said it with a slight slur. I was just going to say, not a racial slur, not an offensive slur, but maybe actually come to think of it, there would have been a slur and a slur. I slurred my slurs back then. Anyway, and now look at me. I sit here, in the gold standard, the crown jewel of talk radio, 77 WABC. Wow. They call this the promises, friends. That's what this is. I'm living the promises of sobriety. So, let's talk about those promises and if you're chasing them. Tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, we're going to be talking to, Ellen Karas. We're going to have, the Greek chick comic, the queen of comedy, here in New York, Ellen Karas. She'll be with us. You go check out at Greek chick comic on social media. She's the best. She's fantastic. So, she'll be on, Sunday morning. Looking forward to that. She is so funny. I'm just kind of feeling my way. I've been home alone now for like 2 or 3 weeks. Since my wife took the girls to Europe to see her family. My wife is from England, as most of you know. And, so they've been in Liverpool seeing my awesome in-laws. I lucked out. By the way, if you ever have, there are some things that are always on the table for this show, for 1-800-848-9222. Some things are always on the table and open for discussion. And one of them is, nightmare in-laws stories. If you have like a nightmare in-law, like the sitcom, remember in the cartoons? Remember the cartoons that would play back in the day and they would show the car of the future, and it would be like a car with a pool and an oven and a thing. And then like way in the back, there'd be a chair, a seat way, a block away from the driver and a seat for the mother-in-law. There would always be a mother-in-law joke. If you have one of them, you're always welcome to call because I don't. I've got the greatest mother-in-law in the world. And, I married into a great family and I married up. Anyway, so I've been home alone for like a while and, I'm starting to go a little batty in the house and I've been like sort of so I got out. I got out of the house the other day and we live in a lovely area and, there is how would you put it? In the development that we live in, it's a very nice, development, if you will. And we have there's like a pool and clubhouse. The pool is nice. And so I said, all right, I'm not exactly the pool going kind of guy. So I went to the pool. And it was like maybe Tuesday afternoon. And I went, or it might have been Wednesday. But anyway, whichever day was really nice this week. So I'm out there and I'm reading the paper and I'm doing things I could do at home, but I got the hell out of the house because I'm talking to myself now. And there's families there. On a work day, you got moms with kids, you got retirees. And I'm sitting there, laying there, and I noticed something was just off about this one individual. This one person was just a bit off, a bit large, tall, very straight backed, like really proper posture, like overly postured, like way back, like shoulders thrown back. And I couldn't quite tell what was going on. It was an old lady and this person. And the person was kind of, again, nondescript, wearing just like a big old, like a muumuu, you know? like a muumuu, like a caftan. Anyway, the person takes off the caftan, keeps on this like bucket hat. He's wearing like a bucket hat too. And no doubt, this was a dude. And the thing was, the reason there was so much confusion, because this dude was wearing a bikini. Now, there's Speedos, right? Okay, it's cool. There's Speedos. Get it. I get it. There's still like 9 men on the East Coast who, in this day and age wear a Speedo. There's a couple of them even at our pool in our development. But this guy was wearing a bikini top. Now he didn't appear to be transitioning. He didn't appear to be like having anything to hold up or cover up. But the rest of the problem was, and you can see it's definitely a damn problem, was that he was wearing the bikini, it wasn't a Speedo, it was a bikini bottom. Because if you're wearing a bikini top, what you're wearing on the bottom is now a bikini bottom. It's not a guy's Speedo swimsuit. He's not about to go in the lap lane with goggles and a nose clip and this is not the, I don't know, name your swimmer. This is a guy who's like putting on a damn show. Anyway, his bikini bottom is a thong. Now, yes, women's bathing suits are getting smaller and smaller. They're getting tinier and tinier, even at the pools, at like the neighborhood pools and at the beach. And there's moms. And by the way, you won't hear me complaining that there's moms, because moms are really taking care of themselves these days, and moms are looking fantastic. My wife's a mom. She looks incredible. I've mentioned it before. She's a bombshell. I'm married to a bombshell. So bathing suits in general for women are certain. This dude is wearing a thong. It's right up there. Okay? He bent over to put down his towel. I saw every bit of Christmas. When he laid down, put his legs up, I was looking right into the new year. I heard Tony through the glass. Thank you. Every bit of Christmas when this guy back. And the thing is this. Now, I'm not a prude. I'm clearly not a prude. I've been in show business for for 40, I've been in politics, even worse than show business. I worked for the Archdiocese of New York. I worked for the church. I have been to the very pits of hell. Okay? I have worked in the 3 most difficult realms a human being can work in: show business, politics, and the Catholic Church. Oy vey's mir. So this guy was not just, he wasn't just living his life, okay? This isn't about somebody who's expressing himself. And by the way, going to the pool the housing, in the develop. I don't want to say it's a gated community because that automatically changes everything. There's no gates. There's a guarded entrance because, come on, listen, we all have to do what we have to do. Westchester. Anyway, but you come to the pool like this. You're not just living your life. You're not just, you're definitely making a statement. And I'm sorry. The pool is the development pool, the community pool, the whatever is not the place to go to make your statement. This is not Saturday night. This is not a gathering of the crew, of the squad. And what really bugged me, it was bad enough for me it annoyed. There was an 8-year-old little girl. And there were two like twin boys. They had to be like maybe 6, 2 boys. Like identical twin boys, little kids, 6 years old. There was another, maybe like a 10-year-old girl. And this guy, like I said, was not transitioning. This guy clearly had all equipment and he made I was just going to say he made no bones about it. I was going to say that, but I decided not to. But this guy was not hiding anything. He was clearly fully equipped, and he was absolutely parading. I've been everywhere, and I've done a lot of things, okay? I'm no prude. I'm no closeted. I'm not, I have no blinders on. I've been out and about in this grand world, especially when I was drinking, okay? And I'm all about, everybody doing what they do, and I don't even like the cliches, but behind closed doors, do what you want to do, love who you want to love. Really, live your life, absolutely. But you don't need to confuse the hell out of kids, because this little 8-year-old girl could not stop staring at this dude. Guy was 6'1". And pale and had a really creepy, close, like buzz cut. So there was no illusion. The guy is not like he's growing his hair out. It's not like, again, he's not in transition. He was clearly a confused dude, a fella. It was a fella wearing a bikini and showing off and getting his cookies is what he was doing. He was getting his cookies over this. And here's the thing. What do I do? Now, again, my problem isn't so much with if this was just a pool full of adults, it would have just been annoying and like, what is this guy doing? But there's children there. So what do you do? Do I go to the 17-year-old lifeguard? Do I go to her? Do I go to the cute kid who's wearing the aviators and say, hey, Darlene, you see the tall, pale guy with the crew cut and the, bikini thong? Are we going to do anything about that? No. Can't do anything about it. I desperately wanted to. What would you have done? 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-WABC. I'm wondering, what would you do if nothing? And listen, this is not about agreeing with me. And it's not about necessarily disagree. If you would have done something or not, that is not, I'm not looking for, to debate you. I mean, we can, because I think it was completely wrong. If you think this guy was just living his life and it's no big deal and we have suddenly no social we have no social standards anymore, and men can go out there with full they got the lunch. This guy had his lunch hanging out. This guy's walking around with his full lunch, including dessert. All packed in there. At the pool on a Tuesday in front of an 8-year-old kid. And for that matter, in front of all the other ladies. And yeah, is that old fashioned? Okay, it's all the other ladies. And how about the fella? I don't know. It really, 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 and again, my daughter's not there. Good. They're cool. They would have made fun of it before I did. You know who? You know what? This guy? You know who he was lucky was not there? My wife. Andrea would have given him, oh Lord, a thrashing. She would have been all over it. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. I wonder if you would have done anything. What do you do in any kind of situation like that? When you have, especially when you, in this day and age, when you feel pressured, when you feel, even if you're convinced that you're right, unless you're like my wife and really strong-minded, you don't really tend to speak up these days because you're afraid you're going to get canceled, even in that moment at the pool, And by the way, that's the thing too. There are so many rules. Just on the other side of the fence at this pool, gang, there's a list of floaties that are not allowed. There's a list of snack items that you can't bring in. There's a list of different, there's a certain kind of noodle, those noodles, those floaty noodles that everybody, okay. There's like a certain length of noodle. Oh my God. I think I just wrote a joke without even trying. What about this guy? Okay. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, with his own noodle, is our favorite crew cut dude wearing a thong. Cheeks out. A man's cheeks out for an 8-year-old little girl to see. That's what it boils down to. Clearly, that's obviously where I'm living on this, right? All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got J. Michael on the phone. And somebody else is there. Okay, I want to hear what Jay would have said. And actually, you know what? I can go quickly to Jay Michael right now. Let's get over there in line 2. Jay Michael, good morning. Welcome to Another Side of Midnight. What would you have said?
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
I would have given the guy the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I would have gone up to him and said, hey, buddy, maybe you want to rethink wearing this here in a family situation. If we were at the beach in Florida, Hawaii, somewhere, or some other situation with just adults, I wouldn't care. But, maybe just think about putting on something a little more modest. He probably would have told you to take a hike.
See, now,
that's the approach I would have taken, thinking that maybe he could be reasoned with.
Yeah.
And told to sort of clean up a little bit. Are there any kind of community standards, decency rules, laws?
Honestly, man, look, I mean, they enforced all the social distancing back during COVID. Like I said, they have strict rules on what kind of floaty you can bring in there. But apparently a dude can. Now, again, it's like, this is when it comes down to like just old fashioned standards or common, social mores. Women's bathing suits. If a woman was, and there are women who come to this pool that wear bathing suits like this dude, but they're women.
They got the body for it. Hey, okay.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. J. Michael.
How big of a guy are you?
Me? I'm not that big. That's why I avoid confrontation. I'm 5'6", soaking wet.
Okay.
I'm 5'6". Maybe I should keep my mouth shut.
I'm 6'4", 200.
Oh, Jay, you can. Oh my God, Jay, I'd love to be for you for like a weekend. I'd be telling everybody to put some pants on.
And I would have gone up to the guy.
Of course you would have. Like you have for your whole life. You go up to people. That's what you do. You go up to people. I go around people quietly and I hope that I don't get hurt. Jay,
what did you do for the Archdiocese, real quick?
I was the director of communications for Catholic schools. So for all for like 200 and something Catholic schools, for Cardinal Dolan, and that's what I did. And you're over in Rockland, like I was over there. Was it St. Margaret's is in Rockland, and a few others?
St. Margaret's, St. Aidan's.
Yep.
St. Anthony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
St. Francis, St. Catherine.
Which is the one in Pearl River?
St. Margaret's.
That's St. Margaret's, right? Okay.
Well, there's two in Pearl River, St. Margaret's and St. Aidan's.
Oh, that's right. Well, there's a lot of Irish Catholics. Hey, J. Michael, I got to jump. I got to take a break, but I'm really glad you called. I think I love what you had to say. Thanks for contributing. It's 2:31 here on Another Side of Midnight. When we come back, we're going to get to the calls, and we're going to get to Lisa Durden. She's going to tell me why she supports Mamdani. You got it. 1-800-848-9222. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick on 77 WABC.
It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormick.
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormick.
Talking about the bikini dude, and I don't take it lightly. Clearly, it was a big deal. I'm blown away. You guys are just, you can't, there's many of you ready to talk about it. So stay right there because we will talk about it further. But for some time now, I have been, begging the universe to please deliver me someone, for this program to articulate why exactly they support Zohran Mamdani to be the mayor of New York City. And a buddy of mine happens to know this woman. I've heard of Lisa before, actually. So it was actually way cool when he said, hey, I can get you Lisa Durden. I said, oh, yes, please. Lisa Durden is a filmmaker. She's a multimedia artist, I would say. She's a content creator all over social media, and she is an ABC TV News contributor, and a supporter of Zohran Mamdani, and now is for the first time here on Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick. Lisa, thank you so much for joining.
Hello, I'm eating cherries.
Hey there.
Hello. Hello. TJ and audience, how are you doing?
Listen to you. It sounds like you got to get your voice ready for 2:36 in the morning. Is that, you got to clear?
Yes, you're lucky. I am the night owl, so you are lucky. Boom.
Oh, yay.
Drop the mic on that. Yes, so call me anytime.
Dig you. Well, all right. Careful what you wish for.
Listen, by the way,
yes.
Congratulations on your sobriety for so many years. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you. It's lovely of you. Thank you very much. It's, hey, look, no sobriety, no this. You and I are not talking.
Well, as the rap song says, you can get with this or you can get with that. So yeah. I think you got with the right thing.
Yes, I definitely got with the right thing. And now I just wonder if you're with the right thing, when it comes to Mamdani. So tell me, where did, so the guy calls himself a democratic socialist. A lot of his policies, like seizing property by the state, dismantling the NYPD, that sounds more like actually communism. Do you think I'm right or I'm wrong? And B, if I'm right, at what point do you draw the line between progressive and authoritarian? Take a shot. Go ahead. Yeah.
I like to do song references, and I heard you sing the first part of the show, so I think you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
I've got a new attitude, and his name is Zohran Mamdani.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that's a hard name. So I have a new attitude. So here's the thing.
Yes.
I feel like there's always people out there who's trying to make what is different extremists.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to dismantle the NYPD, so all of you guys fall back and shut up. It's not going to happen. But I do think there has to be some kind of balance when you're having Cop City, like what Eric Adams has created, between having that versus having a realistic police department who's there to actually serve people. When I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, when I was lost in Newark, New Jersey, when I was about 4 or 5, I saw 2 police officers. They said, "Little girl, where do you live?" I said, "In a greenhouse." They took me to the damn house. So
okay.
I said, now I'm grown. I'm thinking, how do they know? Because they were neighborhood police officers who I'm guessing they knew us from the neighborhood. They thought a bunch of kids live down there. Let's try this. I'm guessing they did the process of elimination. That's when police officers were actually patrolling the neighborhoods. So we have those kinds of things. I think he wants that kind of policing, not policing where you're militarizing the police. So people love to just take things and twist it and turn it. That's not going to happen. So, yes, we need a new person in New York who's not a criminal, allegedly, who's not a liar, allegedly, who is actually not a person that's taking big money from big donors and don't take money from the people. And then lastly, before you ask the next question, the people have spoken. He kicked Eric Adams' butt all the way to the doggone polls and dropped the mic.
First of all, talking about, a militarized, police force, there's a lot of people you could hear, just as many people could flood the phones right now and talk about all the times that they'll be in New York City and see situations where the police, they've got their hands somewhat tied. They're sitting, they've got their hands in their pockets until they absolutely reach a critical mass and they have to act. When it comes to the subway, when it comes to, broken windows crimes, when it comes to protests and actual broken windows, the George Floyd protests got out of hand. Now recently we've had, River to the Sea. We've had those sorts of marches that have gotten out of hand. And, so I'm not so sure New York City is really experiencing a militarized police force. Some would say. Now he wants to, though, go in such another direction. Like he wants to send social workers to domestic violence calls. I mean, who do you want to show up? If a woman is getting beat up by some piece of garbage dude, do you want a social worker to show up, or do you want a big brawny cop with some tattoos and a nightstick to show up?
Well, we have a thing called a toolbox. It depends on the tool that you need out of the box. So every domestic violence situation isn't happening because the person is violent. Some violence is because of mental health issues.
But there's violence.
But when you bring a person with mental health issues down from violence is a very different tool than just a nasty, angry, as we call it, dusty bum. So you have to have discernment. So if the call is coming because the person didn't take their meds or there's something wrong, then that person on board who has several certifications and degrees can bring that person down differently than somebody that's simply just a criminal. So you can do the same thing with a different type of tool out of the box.
Then again, you could also say that just about every police call, there's some need for some sort of mediation at any given moment. And they do receive all that training. It's not like they just, they teach them, how to write tickets, give them, they don't throw a gun on their hip and say, go protect people. There's a lot of training, especially in 2025. There's loads of training to do with interpersonal and social, psychosocial skills and stuff like that. And by the way, and the other thing is too, I'm a little concerned. I don't think that, and Pam, do we have a caller who wants to, jump on in a minute or two? Pamela's going to talk more about it. Mamdani does have his donors. Mamdani has got some big time donors. Mamdani, it's not like, he's doing all this on the arm. I don't think we can claim that he doesn't have big time.
There's a thing called fight fire with fire. So I'm not having a problem with that. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't mean that you can't take any money. Listen, I'm a person who has played in all kinds of ponds, mm-hmm. right? I live in a big city, but mm-hmm. I've also been around the world. I've also been international and local. I can play in many ponds, but mm-hmm. it doesn't change what I feel and think. So if he's getting money from the lion's share from small money donors, just like President mm-hmm. Obama did, but then once in a while you have a person that has a $10,000 check and a $20,000 check. That's not a crime. No. Please call me when he's committing crimes, like Eric Adams.
Well,
like your boy Cuomo, allegedly.
Hold on. It's 2:43 here on 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick. We're talking to Lisa Durden, a national media contributor, TV personality. She's joined us here. She's supporting Zohran Mamdani to be New York City mayor. He also. Oh my goodness. He's also, look, he's proposed public takeovers of private housing. If he gets his way, he wants to freeze rent. He wants to punish landlords and stop development. Hey, look, the other day, he said it on right on TV about 10 days ago, how he doesn't like, capitalism. Clearly he's a Democrat socialist. He's a communist. He doesn't like capitalism, and he doesn't like capitalism, and he doesn't like billionaires. Meanwhile, you and I are, you're
no more capitalism, no more capitalism.
Lisa Durden, I submit that there is no Lisa Durden without capitalism. There is no media contributor in TV. You've been on ABC's 2020. Just the fact that you're on ABC News means that you benefit from capitalism. The fact that you're a creator and you have your ownership of things. You're an entrepreneur. That's capitalism. And listen, right now we're broadcasting on a station that's owned by one of the great American, let alone New York City success stories, John Catsimatidis. That is bootstrap, hard work, capitalism, risk taking, and that's created generational wealth, and we're all benefiting from it. So
let me go back.
Okay.
If anybody's listening, I'm a filmmaker. Everyone needs to watch a film called Capitalism: A Love Story. One of my favorite filmmakers, Michael Moore, did this film in 2009.
He's vile.
I don't have time to break it all down as to where it went wrong. Mm-hmm. It was in its inception, theoretically good.
Right.
But then dusty bums, I'm calling people who are not nice, dusty bums, have now co-opted it and has made it into a negative thing. Now capitalism has gotten to the point where it's only going to help the top tier individuals to thrive. It was supposed to make the playing field equal, but it did not do that.
Isn't it working for you though?
No, I'm poor. Just because you can name 2 Oprahs and 5 basketball players and 1 rapper and 2 Ava DuVernays, that means nothing. There's 46 million black people in the United States. I don't know how many of your kids are adults, but you get the point.
Yeah.
And do you think 1 million people? Just give me 1 million. Do you think 1 million black people are even middle class? Do you think what's the number? Do you think 1 million people who are black, not Latinos, black, are middle class in America? Do you think 1 million? What do you think the number is?
I would imagine it's got to be at least a few million middle class black people.
There might be 100,000 people who are black. The rest of us are, you get maybe 1% of those who are rich. The rest of us are what you call poor, poverty-stricken, the working poor, or indigent. There's levels of poor.
Right.
You have poor, poverty. These are literal terms. I'm a journalist. Poor, poverty-stricken, indigent, the working poor.
Right.
You go look it up. I'm not going to get all into the weeds with that. You guys have Google. So, no, I'm not successful the way I live. Do you realize if I was the white version of me, Lisa Durden, degree from Seton Hall University in journalism, Lisa Durden, a master's in fine arts and social documentary filmmaking from the School of Visual Arts in New York. Lisa Durden, you just read the whole long bio.
Yeah.
Do you know that if I was the white version of me, I'd have been out of here by now, swimming in a pool, playing on the golf course? That's what would have happened if I was the white version of me.
You think so?
No. I know so.
Really?
Absolutely. So what Mamdani's trying to do is he's trying to.
All right. So let me. I'm going to take a break in a second because I want to make sure that we. But let me ask you, what Mamdani's going to do as mayor of New York City is going to get you in a pool like a white person?
Well, what Mamdani's trying to do, and listen, you guys can't look for magic. There's no way Mamdani is going to just be in one term.
Thank God.
Turn the whole freaking New York around. But it has to begin with getting the dusty bums, is my phrase, out of office. These career Democrats, these career people who take money from. We have to get back to grassroots. So I might be dead before it happens, but if we get the Mamdanis in there, and we have 2 of them, 4 of them, some of them in the Senate, and we start to look at how progressives start to infiltrate, and Green Party people and Working Families Party people and Democrats in different parties, they are in existence. Things will eventually change. I may not live long enough to see the shift, but we must begin somewhere. You've got to bake a cake 1 egg at a time with a cup of sugar.
I know how to make cake. Okay, don't give it all a recipe. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so Lisa, hang in there 1 second. I gotta take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking about Mamdani with Lisa Durden, our guest, and we got 1 or 2 callers here. I want to throw in their 2 cents about his royal communism. Okay, all right, we'll be right back here on Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick, 77 WABC.
77 WABC invites you to a family fun day and softball showdown on July 20th with net proceeds benefiting Shriners Children's. John Sterling will call the game as the FDNY takes on the NYPD with special guests Dwight Gooden, Art Shamsky, 77 WABC hosts including Sid Rosenberg, Anthony Cumia, Lionel, Dominic Carter, and many more. For more info and to buy tickets, go to ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org. That's ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between 2-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Buying a car shouldn't eat up your week. That's why Carvana made it convenient. Car buying that fits around your life, not the other way around. You can get pre-qualified for an auto loan in just a couple of minutes and browse thousands of quality car options, all within your terms, all online, all on your schedule. Turn car buying into a few clicks and not a full week's endeavor. Finance and buy your car at your convenience on Carvana. Financing subject to credit approval. Additional terms and conditions may apply.
Living with schizophrenia isn't easy, especially when you're not getting relief from some of your symptoms. It can be hard when you're still dealing with symptoms, like hearing voices or seeing things that aren't there. And negative symptoms, like feeling unmotivated or avoiding social situations. If this sounds familiar, it might be time to talk to your healthcare provider and explore a different kind of schizophrenia treatment. Discover your possibilities at treatingscz.com.
It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormick.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormick.
Good conversation going on. I've been looking high and low, searching for a Mamdani supporter to come on, and we have we have Lisa Durden, and let me just, I know we had some people that wanted to talk about a couple other things, but let me just get over to Pam real quick. Pam, you wanted to point out that Mamdani's got his own donors, doesn't he? Go ahead, Pam. Good morning.
Oh, yeah, big backers. And not saying it isn't legal, but I don't know. There's a lot of global people giving to our elections, which I call espionage. But anyway, WABC had an audio clip of Mamdani. He was out in the public, and a reporter, just like this person, tried to approach him very nicely to ask him a question, and a whole group of guards surrounded him. Interesting. So much for freedom, so much for your job. Your job is going to be gone because people like him use useful idiots. I'm not calling you an idiot, but useful idiots like the press they use them, and then you're out of there, and then they're in charge. And oh, by the way, white people having all the jobs, apparently she hasn't lived in New Jersey. Try to get a state job and be white. They push you right out of the jobs. And I was a teacher. They told me to pass non-white students whether they showed up or not. And when I said that's criminal, I can't do that, they harassed me. So tell me about how white people have it made.
Hold on, young lady. Hold on, girl.
Go ahead.
Hold on, sis. You are lying through your teeth as your lips are moving. There's no administration here where I live in the city of Newark, and I've been born and raised in Newark, New Jersey, there you go, that told you pass black students and you're white. Show me the proof that you got a letter or something official where somebody told you that to pass black kids.
That's been a systemic thing
crap,
for
girl.
decades.
You are full of crap. You're lying because your lips are moving. Stop it.
Hey, Pam, go ahead, Pam. Pam, you still there, right?
I bet she's gone.
She's there. Believe me, she's there. She's not lying. Go on, Pam.
She's a liar. No, don't talk.
Actually,
prove that.
Lisa.
Documentation where somebody in a professional capacity, a principal,
go on.
Superintendent,
let her answer.
Told you.
Lisa, let her answer. Pam, go ahead. Who told you? To the best.
Then you don't know much. You don't know much about politics. Then.
Go on, Pam.
You're very naive. You're extremely naive.
Pam.
Where's your proof?
You are naive. Hey, capitalism isn't perfect. Capitalism isn't perfect. We learned that through the Biden administration.
Pam, let's ask Pam. Pam, to the extent.
Can you turn her mic off? Can you turn her mic off?
Well, hold on.
No, you don't run this show.
Lisa, I do.
Turn her mic off so I can talk.
Lisa, hold on a second, because hold on, Lisa. Obviously, Pam, obviously, Pam can't produce a document, but Pam can tell us, explain, give an example of a time that when you heard
the document. I already produced the document.
Go ahead.
So I don't need to prove it to you, honey.
But just tell me, Pam, anecdotally, give me an example of a time, a conversation when, a higher up.
No, I did that, I did that privately, but, capitalism isn't perfect, as we learned through the Biden administration. Capitalism isn't perfect. Just look what's going on with the deep state.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's the best thing to, the alternative.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks, Pam. I'm grateful for you calling in there. Lisa, there's a lot of, I would imagine that you'd want to hear about it rather than dismiss. Oh, is Lisa? Yeah, that's Lisa. Lisa, I would imagine that, someone with concerns like you have, and opinions that you express, if you hear somebody like Pam say that you would,
got time for no bigots like her. Ain't nobody got time. She's lying. Listen. I am a journalist.
Why would she lie? But why would she make that? And
biggest, the president of the United States has told 10,000 lies in his first administration, allegedly. This lady, people lie every day.
Actually, no. Actually, hold on. I got just a couple minutes left, and I just want to ask you this. Now, you referred to Pam and your opinion that she's a bigot, and okay. Let me ask you this: Zoran Mamdani is an anti-Semite. Zoran Mamdani says that the state of Israel, the Jewish state of Israel, does not have a right to exist. He has yet to wiggle out of his embracing of the expansion of the global intifada. That's bigotry right there. How do you square the notion of somebody with anti-Semitic views being the mayor of the city with the largest Jewish population outside of Israel?
First of all, I need you to present when he said those exact words that people in Israel don't deserve to live. I need you to present that coming out of his mouth. Because I'm a journalist, and I know that there's a lot of fake news, there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. So if you can't present a video that's vetted, because it could be a deep fake too, now we have AI, if you can't present...
You've got a lot of caveats there, Lisa. You've got a lot of asterisks.
No. We're journalists. We're journalists. You got to present a video where you see this man in the video saying the words you just said. Otherwise, it's hearsay. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so let's just, for the sake of it, let's just stipulate that that's his position. Okay, and we've got a whole long summer to go. Let's just stipulate that. I mean, I've seen it. I don't have a clip right here, and I've heard it and I've read it, and we know that that's his position.
No, we don't know that.
Yes, we do. I mean, we do.
I don't know anything.
Well,
I don't know
okay.
anything.
Then humor me on this. So if someone was to present that clip like right now, what would you then, cause it sounds like you wouldn't be very comfortable with that. Would that make you rethink your support of Zohran Mamdani if in fact that was his position, which it is?
I don't like inferences, right? Because that's a waste of my time. I don't like inferences. I'm a journalist, so guess what I like? I like the facts. And then I will answer that question. But right now, I don't go with supposition. I don't like inferences unless I'm hanging out at the barbecue. But otherwise, if I'm somewhere in an official capacity talking about topics like now, I'm not playing those reindeer games. We're not doing that unless it's on Christmas.
How do you feel about, what do you think about Jewish people? What do you think about
listen, I am a person who's all about humanitarian. My brother is an Ethiopian Orthodox priest. My father is a Muslim. I have no religion whatsoever because I'm not interested in religion. And I have friends from all backgrounds. I met a guy one time that told me at the courthouse, I was covering his trial, that he was an atheist. I'm like, damn. I said to myself, I didn't say it to him, but he didn't bother me none. He just, I don't know what made him tell me, because I guess he felt like I was a comfortable person. Here's what I judge people on. Do you know how many religious people are murderers and rapists and killers and child molesters and all these other things, but they in the name of the Lord? So I'm not really beat by people's religions. I want to see how you act. I want to see how you treat people. So your labels and your religion and your churches and your yarmulkes and your kimars and your coverings and your fans and your church hats and all the things we do in the garb, all religions have something. I'm more interested, and it's nice for you as an individual, but guess what I'm interested in? How do you treat people? I don't care about your religion. I hope you care about your religion. If you have a belief system and it helps you, do it. But when you're talking about interacting with people, I'm observing how you treat people.
All right. Well, listen, Lisa Durden, I was looking for a Mamdani supporter, and you came through. We'll have you back on at some point, definitely, as this campaign keeps going. Thank you, Lisa Durden. Everybody go to Lisa R. Durden on social media. So we will be back. It's 2:59. 77 WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick.
This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormick.
My name is TJ McCormick. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick. We just finally had a Mamdani moment with a Mamdani supporter. That was interesting. We'll dig into that. I know most everybody listening is like, what? But it's, this is, I grow weary of the echo chamber. I don't grow weary of you guys. Look, if I was weary with the echo chamber, I wouldn't be able to go anywhere, because I live and walk amongst conservative circles everywhere. So, I mean, what I'm saying is every once in a while, we have got to throw some oxygen and some sunlight onto those views that we just completely disagree with. And I know for most of the listeners of this program, Lisa Durden, that flies in the face, right? But that's what makes it good. 1-800-848-9222. We're getting ready to talk to Barry Cooper in a couple of moments. I've got a couple of people hanging in there from the first part of the conversation. Let me just real quickly, this is going to be like a lightning round. Okay, gang? This is like a lightning round. I want to get your guys' input on the bikini dude. Okay. So just real fast before we get over to Barry Cooper, we're going to go boom, 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 boom. Let's get over to Ray real quick. Ray in Brooklyn, the indecent exposure dilemma real fast. What would you have done?
Good evening, TJ. Honorary family member, great radio host.
Yeah.
I was going to touch on Durden, but I have to listen to you, and you said go to the other guy.
Yeah.
The first segment was very, very good.
Thank
Almost too graphic, TJ. It was, and you know what else? That guy was provoking people, depending on the jurisdiction. He was provoking people, especially when you told me he was around an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm about your size. But he was provoking people to be passively assaulted. And that kind of, I'm not just a conservative at all or a defender of the old guard.
Yeah.
But as far as indecent exposure, and like I said, I'm 5'6" like you.
Yeah.
But I would have found a way. I would have found a way to drag him off the premises.
Yeah, I got you.
What he was doing.
I got you. All right. Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Again, we're going to be real quick with this because we got our guest on the line. Thank you, buddy. Let's see. Let's jump up to Pete in Staten Island. Pete, what about my guy with the every bit of Christmas?
Well, look, I don't like it, but I would call the cops and say indecent exposure. I was calling originally. I moved in a new neighborhood. I go out to the mailbox not wearing a shirt because I broke my shoulder. So putting a shirt on is very hard,
Sure.
And I had a neighbor say to me, a bunch of neighbors, put your shirt on. There's kids in the neighborhood. I don't know where it is that you can't walk around shirtless. A woman can walk around topless as long as she don't stop walking. She got to keep moving.
See,
in the state of New York.
You know what? And I got to be honest. There are some new rules that I kind of dig, and that might be one of them. All right, thank you, Pete. Thank you, buddy. And let's go over to Dave up in Lockport. Hey there, Dave, the guy with the junk hanging out. Yes, tell me.
Yeah.
What would you have done?
TJ.
Hey.
Hey, man, I'm 74 years old. I'm a father, a grandfather, and a great-grandfather.
Yes, sir.
And as old and weak as I am, I'd have gone over and kicked the guy in the nuts so hard they would have been his bow tie. He'd be wearing for a bow tie. Then I'd kick him again.
Yeah, you're great. Okay, thank you, Dave. Dave, that was funny. That was very, very funny. And finally, okay, here we go. Now let's get over to our guest. Thank you, guys. Thanks for playing that lightning round. Everybody had hung in the whole time, so I definitely wanted to do that. It is 3:11 on 77 WABC. This is Another Side of Midnight, where we talk about a lot of different things, and this one kind of works here. It's interesting because in the 4 a.m. hour, as always, we're gonna talk recovery. And now in this 3 a.m. hour, we're talking to Barry Cooper. Barry Cooper is an American drug reform activist. He is a former narcotics officer. He's a filmmaker, and he's a critic of the war on drugs, which is interesting because he's a former narcotics officer. But I believe that Barry finds himself in this current version of his pursuit because of what he saw as a narcotics officer. And he became a whistleblower. He launched the controversial sting operation series Cop Busters. And now he's got a new 5-part documentary called Never Get Busted. It premiered at Sundance. And the series dives into Barry's life, his days as a celebrated cop to his defection and his efforts to free wrongfully convicted individuals. We'll talk about one or two of them along the way. Barry Cooper, welcome to Another Side of Midnight. I'm TJ McCormick.
Right on. It's beautiful being here. First of all, Ryan McCormick, my publicist, told me this is like the coolest radio station in New York. It's 1 o'clock in the morning for me in New York. I'm smoking a joint. I would normally be asleep, but I'm glad to be here.
All right. Well, listen, man, this is actually the number one radio station in all of America, and 77. Did we get that? Okay, Barry, I gotta do me a favor. Okay, this is broadcast radio. It's not a podcast, so I'm just gonna beg you to please keep the 4 letters on the other side of the phone.
Of course,
please.
I caught myself. I said, shh.
Yeah, okay. Well, don't give me or the guys a heart attack.
Sorry.
Okay. So Barry, so tell me, what was the moment that you realized that you just couldn't keep doing your job as a narcotics officer? What happened?
I was one of the best narcotics officers in the nation. That's what my bosses said. There were 30 other agents. I made more drug arrests than all 30 of those agents put together. And here's what changed my mind. Busted into a house, throwing a flashbang grenade in the window after we crash it, and there's mom and dad in there for a little bit of weed. It's nuts. The drug war has never worked. I mean, who can continue doing that if you got a conscience? So it was my conscience. My mama always taught me, Barry, think about other people and what shoes you put them in. Well, I was putting these people in shoes that they didn't deserve. So that rang back true to me, and I stopped. So I flipped on the drug war.
And when you did that, when you flipped on the drug war, how did your fellow officers react?
They tripped. They tripped balls. But you know what? One of those officers who I worked with and whom I think may or may not have planted drugs on this girl that I rescued from federal prison, he's in the documentary.
Is that Yolanda Madden?
Yes, Yolanda Madden. That's right.
Tell me about Yolanda Madden. What happened to her?
Well, it's a sad story. She's a mother of two. She got sentenced to 8 years in prison. She was doing 4 years. She's already done 4 years in prison. She had 4 more left when her father came to me and said, look, my daughter had drugs planted on her. And I proved she had drugs planted on her, but you can't just say she had drugs planted on her. You got to get the attention. So I set up a sting in Odessa, Texas. I put a fake grow room out there and caused the cops to do a fake search warrant, and we busted her out of prison. That was 15 years ago. And since then, I've been on the run. I had to flee the United States, and I just came back for my premiere for this documentary. I've only been back in the U.S. for 1 month, but I was still a little worried, so now I'm in Mexico.
Now, did you do anything that was against the law, or just against what you? No. So you were fleeing your fellow law enforcement officers. You were concerned about reciprocity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen. I set up a trap, a legal trap to prove the cops would break the law to raid a house. And when it worked, and I got her out of prison, they chased me out of the United States. Nothing I did was illegal. It was for a good reason. And you know what? The judge let her out of prison. He agreed with me.
And so, all right. So tell us about Cop Busters itself. Is that a series on social media? Tell me about Cop Busters.
Well, Cop Busters is what got me in trouble. 15 years of my life, I had to flee the U.S. because of Cop Busters. I lost my family. I lost my wife. Everything for setting up traps to bust these cops. But fortunately, 15 years later, they make this movie about my life in Hollywood, and now people call me a hero, and I'm very humbled, and I'm so humbled, and it's surreal to me what's happening right now.
So now, when you are you I know that you are a critic of the quote unquote war on drugs, but do you also have a different view on drugs? I would imagine. Now, granted, you said that you're indulging before you came on the air, but I'm wondering: are you still of the opinion that drugs are a? Do you see drugs as? Do you see there being no problem with people using drugs of all kinds, or is it? Do you draw the line with opioids or with amphetamines? I mean, is it for you? Is it just that weed is okay? But what's your view on drugs in general?
You know what? That's a beautiful question, and I'm glad you asked that. If you do the wrong drugs, your life is not going to be good. If you do the right drugs, you're going to be okay. What are the right drugs? The right drugs are psychedelics like weed, mushrooms. You're not going to get in trouble with anything like that. But if you mess around with cocaine, methamphetamine, opiates, especially fentanyl, prepare yourself to have a bad life. So the answer is do the right drugs.
So here's the thing. I know here in New York, they went ahead and they legalized. First it was, it always starts with legalizing medical marijuana, and other medical. Now there's a lot of work out there being done to legalize, the psychedelics, like, there's certain kinds of mushrooms and stuff for medical purposes. And then, we've gone down the path of legalizing because it always works out this way. Now now there's in a lot of states, like here in New York and California, there's recreational marijuana is legal. And yet very often they do it, these politicians do it because there's a lot of tax money to be made. And, but now there's sort of a boomerang effect. We're seeing loads and loads of illegal marijuana stores. We're also seeing really strong weed being sold. Weed as stronger than the commune, than the hippies smoked.
Just stop that. Stop that. That's reefer madness. We're adults. We can smoke what we want. I understand the THC went to like 24% versus 12% 15 years ago.
That's double.
But we're still adults. It's okay to smoke weed.
But it's not just adults
thing.
doing it. But it's not just adults doing it either, and that's part of the problem.
Well, you're not supposed to let kids do it. Just like you don't let kids drink alcohol. But come on, you really can't. Number one New York radio station, and you're trying to tell me that adults can't smoke weed even if it's 24% THC? Come on, that's crazy. That's why I'm here.
Well, first of all, you're a guest on the number one station, so before you start taking a shot at the number one station, be grateful that we're going to be talking about.
I actually wait. I actually complimented your station. I'm not taking a shot at you. What's that about?
I don't know. It sounded like you did. Anyway, let me just remind people.
I think what it is you want to trash cannabis use, and we're sick of that. It's been 20 years.
Actually, no. I wasn't trashing cannabis use, Barry.
Yes,
Cooper.
You were.
No, Barry Cooper. No, I wasn't. I'm getting ready to promote your show again. So just tap the brakes there, Barry Cooper.
I don't care about promotion. I care about freedom. I lost everything. I lost my family. I lost everything. I had to flee the United States for busting cops for legal weed. So dude, I appreciate you having me on, but your acceptance of me does not. Come on, dude. I'm 57 years old. I've been through it.
I'm 57 too, and I'm 20 years sober. And so this is the thing.
20 years.
I'm sorry?
That's the problem. You need to smoke a joint.
Yeah. So here's my question. When they and I'm just staying chill here. When they legalize without a plan, then it leads to other problems. Like, for example, there's still no good way that I know of, and if you can tell me, then by all means. But it's my understanding that they still don't have an effective way to measure whether or not somebody is driving under the influence of cannabis. So
yes, they do, and I'm completely embarrassed that you're 57 and still asking these questions. These are the same exact questions. You can go on YouTube. Fox News. CNBC, CNN, just go Barry Cooper, Fox News. These same questions you're asking me about reefer madness, I already answered. Here's the truth. Fatal report accident data in the United States shows that people under the influence of cannabis are nothing compared to people under the influence of alcohol. And here's what it is. It's not about whether you smoked a joint or whether you drank a beer. It's all about impairment. Are you impaired? It's not, sir, did you smoke a joint while you're driving? Because some people, even at 0.08 alcohol, and I used to arrest people for that. I was on the DWI task force. It's not about what they've got in their blood. It's about impairment. It's about whether they can operate that motor vehicle or not. And people who smoke a joint can operate a vehicle much safer than anybody that drinks alcohol. Stop the reefer madness.
That's not reefer madness, but I mean, wait a minute. But should anybody be driving any motor vehicle at any degree of impairment? That's okay? Are you sitting here?
No, absolutely not. That's what I'm saying. If you're impaired, no. But I can smoke a joint and drive, and I'm not impaired.
But you just said that you would be less impaired. That means that you're impaired.
I didn't say that. No. I didn't say that. If you're impaired, you shouldn't be operating a motor vehicle.
Right.
But you know what? I can smoke a joint and I can drink a beer and not be impaired.
So again, what is the mechanism by which they can tell if or to what degree somebody is impaired?
That's a great question. Let me tell you something.
You just told me it was a stupid question 5 minutes ago.
You don't need but you don't need blood tests. You don't need all that to find out if somebody's impaired. What you need are the 3 standardized field sobriety test, which I'm an expert at because I was on the DWI task force, and that's the horizontal gaze nystagmus, the one-leg stand, and the heel-to-toe. If they can't pass that, put them in jail. But you know what? I can smoke a joint. I can even drink a beer and pass all of those and not go to jail. But what they're doing, they're just slamming people in jail for that, claiming it's reefer madness. I know you don't think that, but that's what you're doing.
You're a little redundant with the reefer madness thing. You should come up with a new phrase.
You're a little redundant with your
wait, watch
You're redundant. I'm not redundant. Dude,
you are.
This feels
You
like
keep
a
saying,
Fox interview
no,
10 years ago.
No, look.
This feels like a Fox interview 10 years ago.
So,
who do you work for, CNN?
So tell me, Barry, tell me about this series, Never Get Busted. Tell me about this thing that premiered at Sundance.
Well, it turns out because I didn't put up with the reefer madness and I lost everything in my life, they made a movie about my life that just won Best Documentary at the film festival in Hollywood before it got to Sundance, and Sundance is standing ovation. So it's a big hit documentary. You're going to see me again, and I'm not going to shut up. I'm not going to stop. The drug war's crazy, and we should be able to smoke a joint and drive.
And so you're saying that the war on drugs should end, but yet you are clear that things like fentanyl and cocaine, people are dying still, left and right. Your former fellow law enforcement officers, they'll OD just by opening a trunk,
No, that's not true. Hang on. Cocaine, they're not dying. Fentanyl, they are. We need to completely prohibit fentanyl. We need to prohibit fentanyl. That needs to go away.
Fentanyl. So now you're advocating for cocaine as well?
Of course. Are you kidding me? There are millions of people for 20 years who snort a line of cocaine on a weekend and they don't have a problem. Of course I'm advocating for cocaine, but no fentanyl.
All right.
Does that blow you away? Does that hurt your little reefer madness feelings?
No, but I'm really tired of you shouting.
No.
Barry Cooper,
maybe you've never been in a bar.
You can just fade him out. You just fade him out. And, you know what, gang? I thought we were going to be talking about that thing. Just sort of just went a little off the rails, a little quicker and a little bit more precipitously than I anticipated. I apologize for that. But you know what? If, at the very least, Barry's a character, and it just is what it is. Boy, I apologize for that. I really thought that we were going to be talking about a 5-part documentary series, and the guy had a moment of clarity, had some enlightenment, and realized that certain practices were out of whack. And as that went on, he just sort of presented himself to be what he was, and so that wasn't exactly what I anticipated. And I'll never, as a sober person, actually, forget being sober, but I mean especially sober, I'm not going to sit here and let someone advocate for cocaine and other things. That's just destructive, and it's not cool, and it's not okay. And that was weird. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. It's 3:27 in the morning, and boy, that was really, really wild. Barry Cooper is calling back, but we're good. We're good on Barry. I've had my, I can only have one Barry. That's my limit. I got a one Barry limit, tonight, and that's good for me. Everyone else is welcome. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. We're going to keep on rolling right up to the recovery hour. No pun intended there. And when we get there, we're going to talk about the fact that, I mentioned that I'm 20 years sober. And what's interesting too is my sobriety is not so much about not drinking. My sobriety, for me, and again, it's not me. I don't like me, but I can only speak for myself. My sobriety is about my behavior. You understand? Yes, it is the drinking is a symptom of a lot of things that go on in this little cranium of mine. But my sobriety is all about how I behave. Take that, lay it over that 12 minutes or so that you listened to. And you hear what I'm saying? It's about behavior, right? About being, somewhat normal. And I'm no prude, but it's about behavior. And I tell you what, talking about cocaine, and again, we have the recovery hour coming up at 4 a.m., but just for the record, in my time in Los Angeles, that's where I got sober 20 years ago. The devil, the demon was cocaine. I knew men and women who had been at the very tippity top of show business, of industry, of finance, and fell like a stone, like a boulder in a kiddie pool. I don't even know what that means. All victims of that powder. All right, we got Robert there. Okay, good. Robert, you hang in there. We're going to take our quick 3:30 bottom of the hour break. And when we come back, we'll talk to Robert and whomever else you want to talk about what you just heard. Was that not, by the way, just one big massive advertisement against smoking weed and way too much strong stuff? Is that what that was? Did we actually just hear did I actually do a service with that? Did I actually provide a PSA? Was that 12 minutes a PSA against today's 24% THC insane weed? Kids, don't be that. Stay away from the wacky weed, the strong stuff. Have a gummy to go to bed, by all means. But don't sit there sucking on like jet fuel skunk. 'Cause then you'll sound like that guy. And I promise you, nobody wants to sound like that guy. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. Stop with the reefer madness. The other side of midnight, I'm TJ McCormick, 77 WABC. We'll be back with Joaquin and Robert. We're going to bring it down. We shall be right back. Stay right there.
It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormick.
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormick.
We are who we are. This is an upbeat show. This is good stuff. And I think if anybody out there was just like listening along, it was just kind of like, but this is just not typical here. This is just not what we do. We're certainly not prudes, and we're certainly not, we're all going to have our moments of contentious, things. Like the first hour when we were kind of going back and forth with, Lisa Durden. Sure. Okay. Yes. Good debate. Great. Okay. Good. A couple of weeks ago, Russ up in White Plains, he got a little too cute. And, and we zippity-doo-dah right out of that. That last thing with the previous guest, was not our speed. It was weird. It was kind of creepy, right? And we're going to be a lot of things here on Another Side of Midnight, and creepy is not one of them. We're just not creepy. We're above that. We're better than that. We're more bright than that. And, we are lighter. When I say bright, I mean, we just, here in the middle of the morning, right? 3:36 in the morning, there's a brightness about this show. I like to think there's an upbeat, kind of a jovial sort of thing. Even when we're talking about serious stuff, we're coming at it from looking for an answer. We're coming at it from looking for a resolution. We're coming at it from a meeting of the minds. So that 12 minutes or so was none of that. And it only just sort of slow rolled itself to show itself for what it was. So, anyway, we're going to just keep moving on. And, but you know what? You gotta have a little bit of the catharsis. So let's get to, Robert in Pearl River here on 77 WABC, another side of midnight. Hello there, Robert.
All right. How you doing? I just happened to tune in to listen to that.
Yeah.
That is, unfortunately, he's deranged. First of all.
Yeah, it was weird.
You notice that he's agitated on the phone with you at the same time while he's talking, and that he lost his consideration, that doesn't let you talk. That's the effects of marijuana.
Yes.
Over time.
Yes.
Okay? And that's what happens. It gets worse and worse and worse. So you forget words to say. That's why he always repeats the same things. I have a brother with the same problem who's been smoking it over 30 years.
Wow.
And the less I talk to him, the better.
Yeah.
The other problem with marijuana is that it has very small benefits like taking away pain and stuff like calming down. But other than that, it doesn't have much good use. If you smoke it over the years, you could get emphysema like smoking cigarettes. You could get a stroke.
Yeah,
they just found
smoking
out
is smoking, right, Robert? Smoking is smoking.
Yeah. Any small amount of smoke, any smoke. I'm talking about if you light oregano, if you light sawdust, anything, and you smoke it, your chances of getting emphysema and cancer are greater. If you take a barrel of plastic, right, and put it in your room next to you, just a barrel of plastic by itself, you're going to be fine. If you light that barrel of plastic with fire, and turns into that chemical, it produces smoke.
Yep.
This is the analogy I'm making to you.
There you go.
No good.
Thank you, Robert.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I feel like we're talking our way past that weirdness. Joaquin in Pennsylvania. Hello there. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, TJ. Actually, I might want to disagree with that last caller a little bit.
Okay.
The first thing is I want to say something. First one, Mamdani, I got all kinds of stuff on, about him I want to talk about. But as far as Lisa Durden went, I mean, she used the typical tactic of the left where the only way to have a conversation was to start yelling.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was no difference between her and what Barry wound up doing before.
Yeah.
So, poor Pam, she did her best. And really the thing is to turn those tactics against them and say, oh, when did Trump lie? Give me an instance, give me the clip, show me exactly what lie he told.
Yeah. It was.
Okay.
It was.
So, but now getting back to this whole thing with, I went to rehab myself. I'm not drinking anymore either, but I know I do not smoke marijuana myself. I will not smoke it, only simply for the one fact that it still is a federal thing, and you can't have firearms and do that, okay?
Right.
But I also live in chronic pain. I know other people who do also, and marijuana helps. I would smoke it if I could, but I don't. I found something, the drugs, the pharmaceuticals, they don't work. I found nothing to relieve my pain except for kratom, okay? This is legal.
Except for what? What is that?
It's kratom.
Oh, kratom. Okay, Kratom. Okay, I thought it was kratom. I've seen that in the stores here. Listen to me, I sound like such a little prude. I said, I've seen that in the store windows here in New York City, kratom. Okay, so that's isn't that like hemp or something like that?
I'm not sure exactly what it's some kind of a plant from Asia. Okay? Or whatever, but. I mean, I live in so much pain. It's indescribable. And I wasn't since I stopped drinking. I haven't been able to sleep. I would lay there for 3 or 4 hours and be in such pain and restless leg syndrome that I couldn't sleep. And then I figured, you know what? I tried some of it, and sure enough, the restless leg went away. And I know other people, that smoke marijuana for pain, and they say it's the only thing that does it. And, when you get hooked into the painkillers, you're going to run into all kinds of problems, especially a lot of people get into trouble because all of a sudden the doctor stops giving it to them because they can't prescribe them because of the laws. And then the next thing you know, they're trying to buy stuff on the street, and then they wind up, getting arrested. And this is the other thing about these drug laws, okay? I don't think anybody should be arrested for personal use, okay?
Yeah.
And, there was a time when I was I was a truck driver for 43 years, okay, running the road. I remember the first time I went down to Texas, and I'm sitting there stuck in Dallas-Fort Worth traffic, and I'm looking in the car next to me, and the guy's sitting there. He's got a six-pack sitting on the seat, and he's drinking a beer. Next car, same thing.
Yeah.
Next car, same thing. What the heck? And then come to find out it was actually legal, perfectly legal to drink while you were driving as long as you weren't intoxicated.
Right.
And then when I went to Florida, I saw the same thing. Okay, and then I forgot what year it was. The federal government came out and said that we're going to, unless these states, outlaw that, we're going to take away their federal highway funding.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the other interesting thing is that over the years, what I noticed, when they first came out with the DWI checkpoints, because they were not always there, okay, I thought that was the police state encroaching in, okay, to be able to stop you from traveling,
right,
so that they can check you out. And, so I saw that as an opening of a can of worms, as far as the police state goes.
Hey,
okay?
Joaquin, do me a favor. Do me a favor, Joaquin. I'm sorry. I got a break coming, and I want to make sure that I service these phones. But I always appreciate when you call. You are a friend to the show and the station, so thank you, Joaquin. It's 3:43, and we've got Steve in Jersey City. Steve, yes, a bit of a blowhard, wasn't he?
Good morning. He was a loudmouth blowhard.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's sort of, again, it presented itself in real time, and I eventually was able to get a grip on it.
Redundancy, I lost count after him saying that's reefer madness after 8 times. Yes. I just gave up counting. He measures everybody else's standards by himself.
Yes.
I can smoke a joint and drink a beer and be fine. Yeah, you can.
Right.
That's fine. How many people can't? Right. Marijuana is classified as a hallucinogen. Yes. That means you hallucinate.
Yep.
If you're stoned on pot and you're driving your car and you see a pink elephant dancing with a tutu in front of you, that's hallucinating.
Yep.
I have friends who grew up smoking pot. Today, you talk to them, they're zombified.
Yeah.
Because they smoked so much pot, it damaged their brain. I lost a brother to drugs and alcohol. Listen, we're all big boys and big girls. You want to do drugs, but there are consequences to everything you do.
Right.
For myself, I don't believe in doing recreational drugs. I only do prescribed drugs by a doctor that I need if there's pain. But other than that, I will not touch any recreational drugs. I don't touch alcohol. And if you want to do it, well, okay, you can do it. Just remember, there are consequences to everything.
100%. That's it. Steve, in a nutshell. Perfect right there. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. That's WABC here on 77 WABC. It's the another side of midnight with TJ McCormick. And, so, this is sort of a table setter for our 4:00 hour. In 15 minutes, we're going to, do our recovery hour. We're going to do a little bit of experience, strength, and hope here, about anything and everything that, you can find your life sort of unmanageable, whether it's yourself or someone you love. And, we're going to talk about any and all of those things that you wish, starting at 4 a.m. because that's sort of is, it's kind of the hour. That's this time of morning when, if you do have one of those situations cooking, that's about when it really tends to present itself. When we come back from this quarter of the hour break, we'll talk to Al in New York. So Al, stay right there. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick on 77 WABC.
Meet the most capable CRV Honda has ever dreamed of. The all-new CRV Trail Sport Hybrid. With all-terrain tires and available enhanced traction control, it's built for wherever the day takes you. Heated front seats and a heated steering wheel, ideal for winter drives and crisp early starts. And with generous cargo space, it's ready for big gear and even bigger getaways. The CRV Trail Sport Hybrid. Learn more at honda.com/CRV.
This episode is brought to you by Dogfish Head Craft Brewery. The Grateful Dead and Dogfish Head have gotten the band back together with the release of Grateful Dead Juicy Pale Ale, a light-bodied pale ale brewed with sustainable Kernza grains, granola, and heaps of good karma for a refreshing brew that's music to your taste buds. Available nationwide. Visit dogfish.com to find Grateful Dead Juicy Pale Ale in your neck of the woods. Dogfish Head Craft Brewery is located in Milton, Delaware. Please drink responsibly.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
Ray-Ban Meta glasses are powered by Meta AI, so you can get real-time answers.
Hey, Meta, how bougie is Jade Garden?
It's a trendy spot.
What's a color that pairs with this top?
Consider dark, earthy colors, charcoal or black.
What are some good first date topics?
Consider discussing favorite travel destinations or your favorite books.
Get suggestions, inspiration, and answers from your glasses. Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Iconic style meets Meta AI. It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormick.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormick.
77 WABC, 1-800-848-9222. And we're talking about a lot of things, and we took a sudden little bit of a detour there a few minutes ago, and it was interesting, and wow, okay. And Al is waiting to say hi. Good morning, Al. Welcome to Another Side of Midnight, line 4. Hello, Al.
Hey, Mr. TJ. It's very pleasant to hear you in this crazy, chaotic world. Sometimes we get wackadoodle, crazy calls. Sometimes we have guys in pink tutus at a pool and don't know any better. It's exciting. Keep saying the membrane. But you got Mr. Lee there helping you out. He's number one, Mr. Atwood.
Yes.
And you got your... it's always a pleasure to hear you easy going, you know?
Oh, chill. Thank you.
Yeah. And I congratulate you on the 20 years and your outreach in the coming hour. That'll be fantastic. Very nice.
Thank you.
And all around, I want to say have a great summer, 50 days till Labor Day, and it's going quick. And all the best to you, your family, and hang in there. God loves you.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. That's lovely. Thank you, Al. That was really nice. Boy, Al, it's funny. It said on the screen, it said Al wanted to say hi. That was actually just like a really nice hi. As opposed to the other guy, that was a really lousy high. That was too high. That was a whole other kind of high that I just don't have time for. It was an advertisement against it. Just too much. Just too much. And again, it's like, there's a great clip that the station plays, Greg Kelly. I think you guys might have just played it. But I know I heard it earlier in the day. It's a great clip of Greg talking about legal weed and how it's just, and also, Bill O'Reilly in a great segment they aired earlier today here on this phenomenal station that again, talk about the promises, man. If I didn't do what I had to do 20 years ago, you think I'm sitting here talking to you through this station that I grew up listening to? Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I write myself a note, something for recovery hour here. Yep. Yep. Okay, good. Note to self. It was just too much. It was just too much. Anyway, so we're going to keep moving on, but, those couple of segments, the Bill O'Reilly clip and the, Greg Kelly, boy, there's a lot of Irish talkers here. I just said O'Reilly, McCormick, Kelly. Here we are talking about staying nice and sober here on 77 WABC, where it's 3:52 in the morning, and we're all happy and we're all sober. None of us are under the effects of alcohol or the wacky tobacco. None of us are smoking the weed or doing lines. None of us are looking at men in bikinis or ladies of the night. We're all praying for one another. Okay, let's see. We've got, who called in? We've got Tony. Tony, good morning.
Hello.
Hey there.
Hi. Hey, silly guy. Listen,
Yeah.
I heard you talking about palate cleansers.
Yes, palate cleansers. Yes, like sherbet at a good wedding. Remember you used to bring out sherbet in between the courses at a wedding? Go ahead, Tony.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Come back again. Okay, sorry. Yes, I was talking about palate cleansers. Go, Tony.
So I was thinking lemon meringue pie, but I was thinking more along the lines of a song. And, you know, considering your guest tonight and even some of your callers, it's a little weird tonight. I was thinking of the Addams Family song. Well, you know, it do-do-do-do.
Yep.
You know, songs are palate cleansers, but if we don't have time for the song, I would encourage all your listeners seriously to get some lemon meringue pie or some sherbet. You know,
so lemon meringue is a palate cleanser for you. That sounds although I gotta say,
yes.
Have you ever had? See, have you ever had? First of all, a couple of things came to mind. Al just mentioned something like, what was it? What do you say? 50 days? Not 150. It's 50 days until Labor Day. And first thing I thought of was, God, I miss Jerry Lewis in the telethon. I really miss that. And now that you're talking, actually, you know, it's funny. Any people out there getting high, they're getting the munch. I wonder how many people are going to skip the Doritos and go straight to lemon meringue pie.
I would forget about the marijuana. I would go straight for the lemon meringue pie. I would get a Marie Callender and put it in the freezer.
Ooh.
And then slice it up and like do a slice at a time. And it could be gone within a good 60 seconds.
Yeah, you've got a real plan here. So get the Marie Callender. By the way, you know Marie Callender's is actually like a restaurant out west. There's like Marie Callender's like restaurants. They're like fancy Denny's, and that's where they make the pies.
I think she's a real person, but maybe that's not true.
Oh, that's a Google. When we're at the top of the hour news break, that's a Google. Now, okay, everybody. So here what we got to do. Put down the joint, have the lemon meringue, play the Addams Family music, and Google if Marie Callender is a real person.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you, Tony, with an I. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too. Thank you. And Gail is in Minnesota. Good morning, Gail. What do you have to say about pot smoking?
Good morning. First, I would also like to congratulate you on your sobriety.
Thank you very much.
Wonderful.
By the grace of God, thank you.
Yeah, from what I understand, since some people, it's very, very hard. So
yes,
congratulations
thank
on
you.
that.
Oh, you're very kind.
I am not a pot smoker. I have never wanted to be a pot smoker, even though I was always influenced to do it. I'm one of those people that I get migraine headaches and nausea just from the smell of it.
Ooh.
And because now I have a nurse that comes to visit me a couple times a week, she got after me about my blood pressure a couple different days. Well, I have a neighbor that smokes it like a train.
Oh, and are you getting like a secondhand type of effect?
Yes, it permeates my house. Well, I live in a trailer house. And I found out that makes my blood pressure go way up.
Wow.
So besides you know the headache and nausea, I also have problems with my blood pressure now because of that.
Ooh, that's wild.
So it's like they give these pot smokers all these rights, and people who suffer from it get nothing.
Yeah.
Last Thursday, I got fed up and I called the police station and I talked to an officer and I says, "What rights do I have as a non-drug user?" And he said, "I'm sorry, as long as they're doing it on their own property, there's nothing we can do.
Zippity doo dah. That's it. It's unfortunate, that is really true. You don't really, and that's one of the biggest complaints here in New York City. Now, New York City, you would imagine people are used to everything, and people have been seeing and hearing and smelling and experiencing all sorts of vice and oddities for decades here in New York City. But in this city, when they finally, over the last couple of years, as legalized recreational marijuana has rolled out, I think the number one comment that you hear from people, whether it's a complaint or an observation, is and you hear it, this is the phrase, it's everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, you smell it. And you smell it 7 a.m., 11 p.m., 4 in the afternoon. Like, it's not like a recreational thing people are kicking back with a joint at the end of the day. They're doing it to start their day. They're having a joint with their coffee, Gail.
Yep. And the stuff that they have today, it smells worse than tomcat urine.
Yeah. Oof, boy. As opposed to,
I was speaking with my sister the other day. She says, you think the tomcat urine is bad, you should smell mountain lion kind, because she lives out where there's lots of mountain lions.
Oh, boy. Well, I think I'll just avoid all cat wee. Okay. Thank you, Gail. But thank you so much for calling, and I hope your blood pressure goes back down and that maybe your neighbor, moves. It's 3:59 here, coming up on the top of the hour. And that hour is going to be the recovery hour. So get your digits ready to dial 1-800-848-9222. We're going to talk about experience, strength, and hope. Do you have a problem? Does your friend have a problem? Does your loved one have a problem? Let me know. This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick on 77 WABC. By the grace of God, I'm here. Thank you, God.
This is Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormack. Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormack.
It's me, TJ McCormack, on Another Side of Midnight here on 77 WABC. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We are in the final hour of Another Side here, and we are going to bring you right to, we're going to hand deliver you. We are going to hand you off like a baton. We are going to deliver like dominoes. We are going to take and fold and we're going to put you in the back of an Uber and deliver you directly to Liz Radabali for the 5 a.m. newscast. We are going to deliver you directly to Liz for the 5 a.m. newscast, as we do every Saturday and Sunday morning here on 77 WABC. Thanks for supporting this show. Thank you for everything you do for this program. Go on over to Twitter, X. Go find me at TJ McCormick. There is a growing community of tweeters over there, of X posters or whatever. What are we now? Xers? Tweeters? What are we? What are we over there? But it really is very cool. We've got a bunch. And in that crew, we've got, this is wonderful, listeners. We got Poodle Doodle Opinions, is over there. And, Poodle Doodle Opinions, very, very kind, to me and the program and all of the listeners. Marianne is there, Marianne Boudin, or is it Boudin? Is it Marianne Boudin? As in, Marianne, tell me, because I think that's also how we spell the sausage the Cajun sausage down in New Orleans. I believe it's called Boudin. It is. I know it's called Boudin. And it looks like that would be how it's spelled. So, Marianne, thank you for all your kind words. And I agree with you. And again, this is at TJ McCormack. I'm also at TJ _ McCormack.
underscore. Sounds like, that sounds like, unfortunately, sounds like my wedding night. Anyway, if my wife had to give it a grade, it would be an underscore. Thank you very much. And Liz is here right on time. There she is. She is preparing for the 5 a.m. newscast. Florida at the races is listening. Bernays sauce is listening. Joe Border is listening. Catherine, as always, is there. And also Patty in Mamaroneck. I know Patty's listening as well. So thank you, gang. Thank you for being there and participating over on Twitter, over on social media. So yeah, TJ underscore McCormick. That's over there on, Truth Social. We're trying to, fix the Instagram. My Instagram got hacked. And I've been trying to regain control of my Instagram and my Facebook account because I got hacked over there. And, so there you go. So here we are in the, 5 a.m. and the 4 a.m., the 4 o'clock hour here. And, it is our recovery hour. And, that's not the only thing I'm going to talk about, but we open up and we talk about it. And yes, this past Thursday, the 20th, was, as we mentioned a couple times, and I don't say it for self-aggrandizement. I say it because for anybody, and we've spoken to Keith, and by the way, Keith, if you're out there, pal, you called like 2 or 3 weeks ago and you were in a bad way, and like people are still asking me if we heard back from you, and we haven't. So, if Keith, the caller with the 2 boys and who had quit drinking and it started again, give a call or find me over there on Twitter, send me a note. But I mentioned my sobriety, anniversary, my 20 years, not as a brag. It's not a brag. I'm proud and I'm grateful. I'm beyond grateful and proud. But it's very, it's right there. It all goes away. Once I get comfortable, it's all over. Once I think I'm cured, I'm doomed. And so I mentioned the anniversary for the same reason that I open up the program to this conversation, every Saturday morning at 4 a.m. because, for anybody who has an issue, who has a problem, and there was a great guy in one of my groups in Los Angeles who said, I don't like the word issues. Rhymes with tissues. And men don't need tissues. Men shouldn't be. This guy, he was fantastic. He was actually a very well-known actor. You would he passed away not too long ago. And he was very, very cool. Played a tough guy in any movies he was ever in. He was like tough guy. I think once he played a comedy role. And, he was a real character, that guy. Anyway, but if you have a thing with the booze, with the drugs, with gambling, with spending, with sex, with men, with women, with whatever it is, if your life is unmanageable because you are struggling with this, because you are powerless over it, the reason I mention my sobriety and I mention my anniversary is just to say is that if you think that it can't be done, if you think that your problem is insurmountable, know that there's somebody sitting here yapping at you that thought the same thing. And turns out it's been 2 decades since I put any of that in my body. It doesn't make me better than anybody. It just makes me not dead. It doesn't make me better or smarter or more in touch with God. It just makes me not in jail. And it also speaks to it's about behavior. It's not about not drinking, because and this is what was interesting. I was never much of a drinker. My entire teenage and college years, I drank situationally,
Like I would be at a barbecue and I'd have a few beers with cheeseburgers. Few things go with cheeseburgers like a beer. Woo! Right? Is there anything better than like hot summer day? You know, like summer chores, mowing the lawn, doing the weeding, fixing, recalibrating the air conditioner, all that summer stuff, running the errands in and out of the cold on like a Saturday. You know how great it feels to knock off. See, listen to me wax poetic about beer. And I didn't even like beer. And here I am painting a Norman Rockwell painting about beer. But was there anything better than finishing all those Saturday errands and Saturday chores and Saturday obligations and firing up how about this for a sensory moment, right? You cut the grass, you got fresh cut grass, right? Fresh cut grass, charcoal and lighter fluid, and open the beer. That's a Saturday. That's a July Saturday right there. Anyway, I was never much of a drinker, you see. I didn't really like alcohol. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. And like a lot of people, I had that first drink. And by the way, here's one for you. Here's one for the phone number. There was that first time that I ever got ill, that I got sick, drinking too much of something. And for me, and I remember this like it was yesterday, and it's like 40 years ago, 30 years ago? 40. Oh my God, it's 40 years ago when this happened, and I remember it. It was, for me, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name of the booze. Come on, wait. Southern Comfort. Oh, damn. Are there any adults who can drink? Actually, are there any adults who can drink Southern Comfort? Because don't we all get sick on it when we're 19? Isn't it like your first, bleh, right? Your first nausea, right? Or at least your second. Because, how do you just can't. There's that booze that you just can never drink again, right? For some people, and remember too, I came up drinking, and it was Bartles and James. It was wine coolers. Wine coolers. Bartles and James? Now I know for some people it's Boone's Farm, and people would drink Ripple. And I remember the joke about, I remember the joke with Red Fox with Sanford and Son. He's like, it's a mix of champagne and Ripple. Call it Champipple. He and Grady. Champagne and Ripple. Ooh, Champipple. Why do you drink it? Gotta look at her. Honest. 1-800-848-9222. 1-800-848-9222. What's that one alcohol you just can't touch anymore? That you just can't. For me, Southern Comfort. If I smell it, and I haven't had anything in my system in 20 years. And if I smell Southern Comfort, I know I will definitely gip. I will definitely gip. I'll get to you in a second there, Dave. Thanks for calling, Dave. Hang in there. But definitely, I was not much of a big drinker for years and years and years. I just, whatever. And when I was a stand-up, like I said, I would drink situationally. I worked on cruise ships doing stand-up. When I was in Mexico, I would drink Coronas. Right? Literally, you do what you do, right? You are where you are. When I was in, the Caribbean, I would drink, pina coladas. I would do that. Okay. Cause it was like situational. Vegas, when I worked in Vegas, I drank Jack Daniels. And now that's kind of where some of the behavior starts to meet. That's where some of the, isms. Okay. This is where they start to come together like weather fronts. Okay. That eventually became a storm. See, when I was in Vegas, that's when I started to kind of not be a big fan of my own self. I wasn't believing my own headlines, my own reviews. There I was working the big room. I was working Caesar's Palace. I was working the MGM Grand. And these thoughts started creeping in where I was like, the imposter syndrome. Classic alcoholic. I started to think that I was like fooling people, that I wasn't as good as they thought I was. Wait till these people find out that I suck. Wait till these people figure me out and I'm not funny. I don't know where that came from. Just a little warped, just not right. So I started to kind of pretend that I was somebody else. I didn't like myself. I wanted to be somebody else. And so I started emulating Frank Sinatra. As silly as it sounds, as embarrassing as it kind of is to admit it. That's what I was doing. And anyway, so show business was being really good to me, but I didn't believe it because, a little bit warped, a little bit not right. And so the drinking, again, not a big fan of alcohol, but I started to drink and a little bit more, I started to get numb. You can give a call if this starts to sound familiar. I started to get numb, and I liked the numb. For the first time in my life, I liked being disconnected because I was getting stressed out by show business. I was not liking myself. Marriage wasn't going very well. My wife was not happy. I was not happy. And I started drinking for the disconnect. And I started drinking to make my own thoughts go quiet. And that's when your life becomes unmanageable. When you're turning to something like alcohol or drugs or money or spending or shopping or gambling to make things better, to self-medicate, that's when you've got like an unmanageable situation happening. And it just exacerbates. All it does is make things worse. I don't want to leave Dave hanging too long, so let's get over there. Dave, good morning. Welcome to Another Side of Midnight. You got a comment on our our fleeting guest a little while ago.
Yeah. Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Thanks for taking the call.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm from the same generation as he is. You are. I'm actually 61. We all grew up in. I lived in Vegas too. I was just curious what year you worked in MGM. If you don't mind just.
I was there. I'd say 98, 99. I was there from. I would say probably about 98 till about 2010 or so is when I was working in Vegas regularly.
I see. Yeah, I was there in the way back before the 85, 86, and that was a drug and alcohol. Yeah, I was like 23, 24, but that was a drug alcohol place to be in the mid 80s.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine that had to be just like nuts. Did you work in the casinos? Did you work in the business?
I did work in the casino just for a short moment, I was a young guy, 23. Me and my girlfriend kind of ran away, and I was on my way to California to see a family member, which I did. California was a little too expensive to settle in for a 23-year-old.
Sure.
So they told me on the way back to New York, why don't you just stop into Vegas? You know, I had an inheritance. I had a little bit of money. An uncle died. So me and my girlfriend were just like, you know, bumming around, a couple of hippies. And we went into Vegas, and I was able to get an apartment. I sold shoes at the Meadows Mall, Florsheim Shoes. I became an assistant manager. I made a little career, and I had kids, and I lived there for like 5 years.
Yeah, interesting.
And then we wanted to get out of there. It was really just an experience that turned out to be like, are we ever going to get out of here?
Right.
And we went back to New York, and of course I've been there ever since. But anyway, with me, luckily with me, isms. So I took a course. I took alcohol and drugs in America because I was on my way to becoming a counselor, again, 30-some years ago, but I didn't finish the course. It was a real long haul.
Right.
Not a lot of money, and I drive rigs for the post office.
Oh, okay.
I ended up driving tractor trailers. So, but very interesting. And I learned something so interesting. And I really wanted to mention the other guy, but Barry Cooper.
Yeah.
But it's all isms. And the main thing I learned, I was a heavy marijuana smoker. I was never really into alcohol. I didn't like beer, didn't like whiskey.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was a blessing. And then with the marijuana, one day, way back in the 80s, we had tape recorders, remember? And we would tape each other and then listen back. We would listen back to the night before. We would all laugh, and it was so much fun. It was like listening to a radio show.
Right.
And I started listening to me, and I said, my God, I can't stand this guy.
Wow.
I could not stand myself. And I said, that's how I am when I'm blown stoned. I hated it didn't remind me of my heroes in my family. It didn't remind me of my dad. And I was so ashamed. And I said, you know what? I can't grow into being this person. No way.
You know what? And Dave, that is brilliant. I got to tell you, that's fascinating. Yep. You know what's interesting? Therein lies the difference between an addict and a normal person, a normie. Is that you saw the forest through the trees. You caught a recording of yourself and you said, I don't want that. That's not me. You know what? You know what you just said that really jumped out at me? You said, I don't sound like the heroes in my family. Oh my God. That's so profound. And meanwhile,
I was ashamed to be me.
And I tell you what, when I would play back the tape of the night before of what I could remember, I would be the night before of my my drunken scoundrel behavior from the night before, whether it was treating my wife poorly or driving drunk or doing this or doing that, whatever it was. I would just simply go into a greater resentment of myself. I would hate myself deeply. And then at about 1:00, I'd start drinking to forget the night before when I was a piece of garbage. So you see, therein lies the difference. You heard a recording of yourself and said, you know what? Not for me. Me, I'd remember the night before and I'd say, I got to drink to forget that. What a lunatic, right? What a problem.
And I had to do something about it. And then and I didn't quit right away, but I never got high the same. I never was able to get high the same way because I would hear that stupid guy come out.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, this happened. But when I took that alcohol drugs course in college, you know, really what I learned was in America, nobody wants to take a drug or alcohol that takes 5 hours to feel an effect from. That wouldn't be fun. So we like things that hit us quick. And marijuana hits you quick. Cocaine, alcohol hits you pretty quick. And that's why we like it.
Yeah.
And then with this guy Cooper, he has other issues. God bless the guy. He's very angry. He probably hates Mexico. He had to leave America. And but I'll tell you, he's missing the most important thing, that is changing his personality.
Yeah.
We didn't hear the real Cooper. He's probably a wonderful person if he could calm down, sober up completely.
Yeah.
And find himself. And it got in the way with you right away. It got in the way with all of us.
Yeah. You could tell. I was just, it really threw. I think that's why it took me a minute or two to kind of recover and sort of get my feet under me, is because I'm so close to that sort of behavior. And that sort of behavior I've just.
And you were right on.
Yeah.
You were right on with it too.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, buddy, and I'll call you again.
Thank you. Please do. Dave, way to go, brother. Thank you so much. 1-800-848-9222. Another side of midnight. We're talking about recovery here. And JR in Connecticut. Good morning. Welcome to Another Side of Midnight. How are you, pal?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
It's nice of you to sound like you're supportive towards people in recovery. I've struggled with it. I beat morphine addiction, 15-year morphine addiction, and now I'm drinking some, and I'm on the fence about going to detox, which I have to go again, I think. I talked to Anthony Weiner a couple of years ago before I came off the pills.
What do you?
I'm struggling.
You beat morphine. And,
I beat it. But the alcohol, and then I drink to the point where I'm starting to get blacked out and getting upset. And I want to almost punch the doctor at the emergency room, which is not too good.
You can't do that, JR. You don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, why? Look, if you're thinking that you might need to go to detox, you probably need to go to detox. Again, I mean, that's for you to decide. But just as a friendly, friendly fellow addict, but here's the thing. My whole thing is, I think you got to be desperate. I think you got to be chasing the sobriety like you chase the high, Do you think you're there?
I've done it before.
Exactly.
I've managed to get a few years clean, and then, then there can be replacement addictions such as gambling, things like that. But I think I got to give it another try. So thank you for the support. I haven't been to a meeting in a long time.
Well, how about this? How about this, JR? How about you go ahead and take a shot and find a meeting tomorrow in Connecticut? What part of Connecticut are you in, generally speaking?
It's Westport, Connecticut, Fairfield County.
There's loads of sobriety there. There's loads of meetings in Westport.
There's some. I may go, soon, and maybe the next couple days get up to this.
You know what? Go tomorrow, man. Go to
detox at Griffin Hospital.
Go tomorrow. Go to a meeting tomorrow and call me Sunday morning. Call me tomorrow night. Take a shot. Take a shot.
Maybe next weekend I can give you a shout.
All right.
You work on the weekends?
Yes, every Saturday and Sunday morning, 2 to 5.
Okay, well, I'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.
JR,
understand. Good to hear that, some people can do it.
Dude, so can you. You did it once, and you did it with morphine, for crying out loud. You can do it, and you're worth it. You should do it. Take a shot, Pally. All right? Listen to me. I'm talking like Dean Martin over here with the Pally. It's 4:31. Dave is there. Dave, you hang in there. One more second. We're going to take bottom of the hour break really quick. When we come back, I want to talk to Dave in Comac. We are talking about addiction and recovery, gambling. And also, by the way, what's that one alcohol you just can't smell? Somebody just wrote a joke about, I can't smell. One thing I can't smell is cocaine. I can't take one whiff of that. Anyway. 1-800-848-9222, 1-800-848-WABC. It's Another Side of Midnight. It's TJ McCormick. It's all about you. Be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon's Blink Video Doorbell. Get more at your door with the easy-to-install Blink Video Doorbell. Get more connections.
Hey, I'm here for our first date.
More deliveries.
Hi, I have tacos for two.
Oh, thanks. We'll be right down. And more memories.
Babe, come down. I have a surprise.
All new Blink Video Doorbell with 2-year battery, head-to-toe HD view, and simple setup. Shop now at Amazon.com/Blink for just $69.99.
Culture evolves at the speed of light, just like your financial needs. When it comes to your money, Credit Karma keeps you in the know and ahead of the game. You can count on Credit Karma to keep up with your financial needs as they evolve. We'll help you monitor your progress and give personalized recommendations so you can make strides towards your goals and find your way to money. Intuit Credit Karma. Karma you can count on. Download the app today.
Going on vacation? We're here for it. With kids who turn a back seat into a courtroom drama over whose tablet is louder, whose charger is faster, and why watching the same cartoon for the 100th time is a human right? Yep, we totally have vehicles to handle that. Because whether it's a road trip or a business trip, where your flight's delayed, your phone's at 2%, and your dinner, whatever's open, yeah, here for that too. Enterprise, we're here for it.
I'm 32, juggling family, working full-time, and earning a bachelor's degree. At University of Phoenix, I earn career-relevant skills with every 5-week course. Skills I can use now, not just after graduation.
Earn skills in weeks, not years. Visit phoenix.edu.
It's Another Side of Midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormick.
Now, to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormick.
That's addiction. That is addiction. One is too many. 50 ain't enough. I would drink gin and tonics. I would drink double, like a milkshake glass. Like a milkshake glass. That's what I would drink. You know when I tell you what, and we got Dave and Lou there. 1-800-848-9222. Yes, I just acknowledged and embraced 20 years of sobriety and understand something. The only reason that I'm there is because A, my wife kicked me out of the house. She got tough. She had a program with another very amazing group called Al-Anon. Look them up. They're there. She kicked me out of the house because she was done making deals. She was done negotiating. And I mean, she knew. But like gin and tonics in milkshake glasses, just massive, huge goblets of booze. And one after another, after another, after another. Now again, 20 years without him in me because there were other people that I related to. There were other people that by the grace of God, once my wife kicked me out of the house, and the only way she let me back in the house, there were no promises. There were no promises. Understand this too. No promises. She was, you come back and you get sober and I'll be here for you. There was nothing. My whole trip with life on life's terms began with a leap of faith. My first leap of faith was going to rehab, and there was no promise that this beautiful bombshell was going to be waiting for me at the end. It just so happens that it was God's plan that she would. And by the way, there's ramifications. I start drinking today, she's gone tomorrow. Like gone. But the big barrels of booze that I was drinking, and eventually stops because there were people there that supported me. There were people there that I related to, and it all started with listening. See, when we say go to a meeting, if the 12-step thing, I'm not here to advocate only for, AA and stuff like that, but it's what worked for me. But all you got to do is just go and listen. That's all you got to do. If you're struggling, if you want to go and find a meeting, first of all, you can find me on Twitter at TJ McCormick. Follow me, send me a note, say, hey, follow me back so we can, I'll direct message with you. I'll whatever you need to ask me. I want to be of service to anybody. And whether it's you or someone you love, if you need an answer, you want me to help you just sort of give you some direction, by all means, find me on Twitter. That's the best way to do this. All right. Let's see. Dave's been waiting. I'm sorry. Dave in Comac. I'm sorry, pal. You've been waiting for a little while. Good morning. Welcome.
When I was 5 years old, I saw my uncle smoking a cigarette. A normal cigarette. We're not talking about marijuana.
Yeah.
Nobody in my family was ever into drugs, and neither was I. And I was never into drinking either. But the long and short of it all is, I said to my uncle, could I have one? Meaning his cigarette. He said, sure. He says, there's one small problem. I says, what's that? He says, you're supposed to inhale. That was the last one I ever had.
Wow.
Yep. But I've had some addictions with regard to diet soda, I remember between 2011 and 2013 for a whole year, I drank a whole 2 liter of diet soda every day because I was addicted to the caffeine and I was visiting somebody on Roosevelt Island from Long Island, and she worked as an expediter in the buildings department, and so I was getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to get there by 8 o'clock to get to the buildings department, and that was, I could go the entire day without eating just by drinking a bottle of Diet Pepsi or Diet Coke for that.
Yep. You know what? And you know what I got right next to me? I got Diet Coke in my hand right now.
and it wasn't until 2015 that my dentist told me I have enamel erosion. And so that's what convinced me to quit.
Wow.
He's like, you need a bunch of crowns, and but what he was telling me was overkill. I didn't have any crowns done. I did have one root canal, but that's only because of a bagel I ate was hard at this place.
Oh, that's awful. Sorry to hear that.
Right, and the interesting thing is the guy that did the root canal didn't do the root canal right, so I have a bigger problem because the tooth is infected several years after the fact. And it's going to be it's a choice between taking a tooth out and doing an implant, which I don't want to do, or letting them drill through the side of my jawbone and repairing the root, which could result in sinus infection and loss of sensation in my upper lip.
Oh, my God.
Tough it out with the pain until they're finished experimenting with the drug they have in Japan, which they don't expect to be out until 2030, which they can regrow the tooth using the drug, or what some dentists are doing experimenting with now with stem cells that they can regrow the tooth, or the nerve, or the inside of the tooth.
Wow, you are doing your homework, Dave and Comac. Holy cow.
But there aren't too many dentists that are willing to do that because either they're not up on it or it hasn't been FDA approved. But I'd rather go through that, even if I have to go to Japan, rather than have to go through them taking a tooth out and drilling through my jawbone to put a screw in and then a crown.
All right. Okay. All right. You're bringing up my other fears and other phobias. Thank you, Dave. Thank you very much there, pal. And let's get over to Lou in Long Island. Lou, thanks for hanging in there for 10 minutes on hold. I appreciate that.
It's not a long time. During the 80s, a bunch of my friends and my wife, we dabbled with cocaine on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a casual type of thing,
Sure.
Come Monday, you have to go to work. I'm done. But then I had a few friends that couldn't stop.
Mm.
They lost their jobs.
Right.
They lost their wives.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know why a few of my friends, like I say, and I were able to cut it off, stop it, and like, okay, it's time to get back to normal.
Yeah.
But there were friends of mine that, just couldn't turn it off. It's a party weekend. We're done.
Sure.
But no, they had to keep going.
And therein lies the difference between an addict and somebody who can just walk away from it. I mean, I guess there are some substances out there that are just unforgiving and you will become addicted.
Oh, cocaine is one of them.
But you said that you walked away from it though. You never became addicted.
Oh no, it was a party drug for the weekend.
I tell you, because
that was it.
Yeah, sure. And like you said, though,
I don't know why I could walk away from it.
Because you're not an addict. Right? It's weird, isn't it, buddy? It's weird. And you think about
No. Listen, I am an addict. I love my Budweiser.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a sober person. I'm not saying I'm an angel.
But I mean, is your life manageable? Or are you if you had to stop, if you were in a position where you had to not drink Budweiser anymore, could you?
Yes, if it was, if my doctor told me you got to stop drinking or you're going to die.
Right.
Well, that's a pretty sober choice.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. And
I have not gotten to that. Well, I'm not. Well, I don't know how to describe it. Like I say, I enjoy a couple of Budweisers a day.
Sure.
But it doesn't get to the point. I I have drank to the blackout point, as one of your previous callers has said.
Scary.
I've gone through that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God, you'll wake up, where's my car?
I tell you what, Lou, you know what? This was something. This was one of the scariest things. And when I think about it, I have like a PTSD thing. Do you know what? Almost every addict, especially alcoholics, I'll stick to alcoholics. Almost every alcoholic that I've ever known. And the first time that I heard this in a meeting, I knew I was in the right place, was when I heard another alcoholic tell a story. I would wake up just about every morning. If I had been out the night before, and I almost always was, and if I had been driving, and I almost always was,
same here.
I would wake up, and my first thought was, oh gee, well, there was definitely a curse involved in my mind. And I would get out of bed. I'd go out to the car and I'd walk around the car looking for blood and hair.
Or dents.
I was looking for, or dents but you know, when you're an alcoholic, it's a worst case scenario. I remember that
if you hit someone,
if you hit someone, I would wake up because I didn't remember getting home. And I would go out to that car and I would say, dear sweet Jesus, please let me not have hit somebody last night.
My
thought.
Vision around was with the DWI. I had to attend one of those MAD meetings. And man, they told me heartbreaking stories of losing a child.
Yep.
From a drunk driver like me.
Yeah. Listen, that's why, I tend to not be, look, drunk drivers. I'm a dad now. My daughter's going to be out there driving. She's going to have her license soon. I'm out of my mind when it comes to drunk drivers, but there's always that little corner of my mind where I go, I'm no better than them because I did it too. And I did it a lot.
Exactly.
I did it a lot and I did it fast.
I'm old enough to know that decades ago, you got pulled over, a cop took your keys and said, my shift is over in 3 hours, you're going to sleep it off.
Wow.
And that was, oh yeah.
Wow, that's a generational thing. That's different. Wow, that's interesting. Hey, Lou, I got to jump. I got to get over to Mike. Mike, good morning. Welcome back to the show there, pal.
TJ.
Hey.
How you doing?
Kisach.
Kisach.
What's up, buddy?
100% Italian, proud to be.
There you go.
Half Italian.
100% Irish. I'd like to pretend I'm Italian. Go ahead, sir.
I'll tell you what. You are an inspiration. I'll never forget a couple of weeks ago, this guy called, 3 kids. He's crying on the phone.
Keith.
And he couldn't get over it.
Yep.
And you know what? I did New York City Transit for 8 years, and I went to Metro North. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I used to call it the morning after the night before. Rim shot.
Sure. Yeah.
And you know what? You are an inspiration to so many people because addictions. I used to like to gamble. I wasn't a compulsive gambler, but I liked action, playing some ponies, blackjack, poker.
Sure.
And it's like people have to understand. Hey, when you do it all the time is too much.
Yes.
I went to an Gamblers Anonymous meeting. I'll make it quick.
Okay.
And I stopped gambling, but you know what? An alcoholic's going to pass out.
Yeah.
A drug addict's going to pass out.
Yeah.
A compulsive gambler will never, ever pass out.
A compulsive gambler will lose everything.
That's right. And I saw so many people lose Atlantic City casinos.
Oh.
Crazy. And look at your life.
Yeah.
And look at how you turned it around. You worked cruise ships in Vegas and this and that.
Yeah.
And, I applaud you for doing everything you do, and it's great to hear you on the radio. And I'll leave you with this.
Yeah.
Last week, I used to hear him all the time on the radio. I'm listening to WABC 35 years.
Sure.
You sent him on his way. Don't ever call my show again from White Plains.
Oh, yeah, him. Yep. He hasn't tried tonight.
That's right. Condescending, out of control, a real, whack job.
Yep.
So, but anyway, TJ, keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to, you're going to influence a lot of people's lives because of what you went through.
Yes.
I met Robin Williams years ago.
Okay.
I was an extra in a couple of flicks.
Oh, wow.
And whatever.
Yeah.
And every time I hear that Eric Clapton song, the new version, cocaine.
Yeah.
She don't lie. She don't lie. She don't lie. Cocaine. That dirty cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, TJ.
All right, Mike.
Always good, man. I'll be tuned in tomorrow too, and
You're
I'll probably
awesome.
give you a buzz.
Thank you for your support. Thank you, Dan, Mike. I love you. I love you for being there, listening to the show. Thanks. 1-800-848-WABC. Oh, we got to take one last break, right? Okay, we're going to do this one last break, then we're going to come back, and down the stretch we come. We'll get you over to Liz Radabali with the 5 a.m. newscast. 77 WABC. It's another side of midnight. I'm TJ.
It's another side of midnight.
Political humorist TJ McCormick.
Now to the Bernard McGurk studios of 77 WABC. Here's TJ McCormick.
Down the stretch we come, and we're going to hand you off to Liz Radabali for the 5 a.m. newscast, and then we're back here Sunday morning, 2 a.m. We're going to have Ellen Karras, one of the funniest women in New York, one of the funniest women around. You can go follow her at Greek Chick Comic. She's Greek, she's funny, she's a she, so it's perfect. Greek Chick Comic. She's funny lady, and she's sharp as a tack, and she goes on the attack. Wait till you hear. We're gonna have a good time tomorrow. Sunday morning, Ellen Karras will be here. And, we're going to talk, we'll talk more about this, by the way. This is always a subject we can talk about, this recovery thing. You know, just to, let you know, there's, again, it's been 20 years for me as of this past Thursday. And I give all the credit to my wife, like I said, for kicking me out of the house and saving my life in that regard. And yes, I had a good relationship with my faith, and God, the God part helped. The faith part helped. It's not a requirement. Some people think it is. It's not, even for the 12 steps. It's not. But I had an amazing sponsor, and I got it early. I understood early that what I was dealing with was not shameful, and it was not insurmountable, and that it was I was able to look at it, but thank God I was able to look at it very pragmatically. I just realized that it's like, it's an allergy, if you will. And this actually occurred to me, thank God, the first morning in rehab. I opened up the book, the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And one of the first things that I saw in there was a reference to an allergy, and I got it quickly. Like, it was like a story. It might have been I think it was one of the guys that I was living with. And by the way, I mean, I'm little diva. I'm little diva TJ. I'm little pretty boy. I'm little Mr. Wants to be Frank Sinatra. I played Caesars, and next thing you know, I'm in this rehab with a cholo, a gangbanger, some dude that had killed somebody in an intersection, and little me. But where are these guys mentioned allergy? When he said we have an allergy to alcohol, I was like, wait a minute. And I thought, if I had the peanut allergy or a shellfish allergy, I'd be avoiding peanuts or shellfish like my life depended on. Oh. And it kind of went from there. But, again, it was hearing other people. It was going into meetings and just listening and hearing other people tell the same stories, like getting up, waking up in the morning, not knowing how I got home, not remembering pulling the car into the driveway, let alone turning off the car, let alone getting into the house, let alone getting to bed, let alone everything. That's blacking out. And going outside at whatever time, usually sometime late morning, early afternoon, waking up and going outside and running around the car, praying to God I wasn't going to find blood. Praying to God that I didn't hit somebody on the way home. And, It was another interesting moment too one time. You know, I was, back in the day, I don't have time to tell this story. I just realized it's 4:58. You know what? I'll put a placeholder here. I'll find time tomorrow to tell you this story. It was the beginning and end of my drinking career, and I had this experience with the same person, but I didn't know it. I encountered one person in the height of my drinking, and then I encountered them at the end of my drinking, and they remembered me. I'll tell you about it tomorrow here on Another Side of Midnight with TJ McCormick on 77 WABC. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the show. Liz Radabali is next. Everybody, have a great Saturday. God bless, and I wish you all the luck in the world.
WABC invites you to a family fun day and softball showdown on July 20th with net proceeds benefiting Shriners Children's. John Sterling will call the game as the FDNY takes on the NYPD with special guests Dwight Gooden, Art Shamsky, 77 WABC hosts including Sid Rosenberg, Anthony Cumia, Lionel, Dominic Carter, and many more. For more info and to buy tickets, go to ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org. That's ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org.